Hi, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Duraney, and today your assignment is to choose a nonfiction book from home or Raz Kids, and you're going to stop and jot as you read. This can be done on Post-it notes or on this document that I have here. So I have a stop and jot document, and I opened it up with DocHub. And when you are reading, we always stop and we jot. So we may stop and jot to wonder, to ask questions, to record what we notice. If something surprising happens, if something surprises us, if there's something that we don't understand, maybe we're a little confused, or to make a connection. Now, you might not think all of these things while you're reading, and that's okay, but I'm going to try to show you an example of me stopping and jotting using all of my little pretend Post-it notes here. So I found a nice diagram here called A Butterfly's Body. Now we know this is nonfiction. It's not a story with characters, setting, and a problem and solution. I see realistic photographs. I see a diagram of a butterfly with all different labels on it. And then I see a chart here, butterflies, moths. So as I read, I'm going to be going back and jotting about all of these different things that I might be wondering, noticing, surprised about, okay? So right away, I like to always do a picture walk. I like to look at what I'm going to read before I actually read it. And I'm already kind of wondering, I'm looking at this diagram, and I wonder how moths and butterflies are similar here because it's showing me both of them. So I really want to learn more about how they could be the same. So I'm going to go to my document. I wonder how moths and butterflies are similar. Now I know they both fly, but besides that, I want to learn more. So I'm going to start reading A Butterfly's Body. So we have 4 wings allow the butterfly to flutter and fly. So it has 4 wings. Butterflies have big, bulgy eyes. They can see colors and recognize flowers and even other butterflies. Oh, wow. So they can see color. That's a fun fact. Okay. I could write that down under something that surprised me, that we know that butterflies can see in color. So I am surprised butterflies can see in color. Now, if you want to put more than one, go right ahead and do that. You might have more than one that you want to do for what you're wondering or connections or any of the things that we're going to be jotting about here. Butterflies have special sense organs called antennae, which they use to touch and smell. So maybe you didn't know that antennas are used for touch. Maybe you didn't know they were used for smell. Now, I knew that antennas were used for touch, but I didn't realize that they could also smell with their antennas. So that's pretty cool. And if I want to add that to another surprising fact, I can do that. Antennas are used to smell. That's surprising to me. Okay, I'm going to keep scrolling down here. A butterfly's proboscis looks like a nose, but it's really part of its mouth. It works like a straw to sip water and suck sugary nectar from flowers. Okay, so that's definitely a new word that I learned. Proboscis. Okay, that might be another surprising fact. Now I'm noticing there are many parts of a butterfly. I didn't realize that there were this many parts to it. So I'm going to go back to my document and I'm going to add that to my noticing part here. What are you noticing? I notice there are many parts of a butterfly. Now, as I'm reading this, let's see, we have one more here. Thousands of tiny scales make up the spectacular colors on a butterfly's wings. Ooh, so they have scales. Could be another interesting fact. I only thought that fish had scales, right? So you're surprised. You might have a bunch of posties about things that you're surprised about because remember, we're reading nonfiction. So we're learning all of this new information constantly. So if you're reading your nonfiction book and let's say maybe you're not confused by anything, it's okay to leave that one blank. But then for what you're surprised about, you might have a bunch for there. So that's okay too. Now, this is all about butterflies. So I'm making a connection here because this reminds me of the butterfly exhibit at the Turtleback Zoo. I don't know if any of you have ever walked through that, but they have this whole butterfly garden, this whole butterfly exhibit, and you walk through it, and the butterflies, like sometimes they land on you. It landed on my son's baby carriage when we went last year, and they're just so beautiful to watch, and you could see them up close and in person. So I'm really making a connection to that moment. So this reminds me of the butterfly exhibit at the Turtleback Zoo. Okay, so let's see. So what I have left is readers stop and jot when they don't understand something and to ask questions. So now it looks like I have a picture of a moth. Hey, what about moths? Moths and butterflies belong to the same family, but they're a bit different. Here are some ways to tell them apart. So right now I'm thinking, how can you tell them apart? Because this picture here, this looks like a butterfly to me, right? It looks very similar. So in my mind right now, I'm really going to ask myself a question. How can I really tell the difference between a moth and a butterfly? Hmm, good question. So let's continue reading so that we can find out how we can tell the difference between the two. So I have a nonfiction text feature, butterflies and moths. I have a chart here. So butterflies are busy during the day, and moths are the most active at night. So, you know, I don't know. I don't understand. Why are moths more active at night? Hmm. So that might be something that maybe I want to learn a little bit more about. So I kind of have that question in my mind, and I don't really understand why moths are more active during the nighttime. So I might want to stop and jot that. Why are moths more active at night? So maybe I can do some research on that and look that up a little bit. So butterflies are usually more colorful. Moths are usually less colorful. Butterflies, small round clubs on their tips of the antenna. Okay. Feathery or thin antenna. Butterflies have smooth bodies. Moths have plump, fuzzy bodies. And butterflies rest with their wings closed and upright over their backs. That's interesting. But moths rest with wings open. I didn't realize there were so many differences between them. So if I go back to my document here, I have now successfully completed all of my stop and jots. So I have my wonder. I wonder how moths and butterflies are similar. Question, how can I tell the difference between a moth and a butterfly? What do I notice? I notice there are many parts of a butterfly. I didn't realize how many parts there were. Surprising. You might have a whole list here of things that you're surprised about, right? Because there was a bunch of things. We didn't write them all down. I am surprised butterflies can see in color. The antenna is used to smell. Why are moths more active at night was something that I want to know a little bit more about. So I don't understand why they might be more active at night. And a connection. This reminds me of the butterfly exhibit at the Turtleback Zoo. So there you have it. I read my nonfiction text. You could do a book, an article, Raz Kids. If you get the highlights, those kids magazines, I actually get those too for my son. If you get those, they have some nonfiction articles in there. You could choose anything from home, use Post-it notes, or use this document, and enjoy your book. Enjoy reading and enjoy stopping and jotting, boys and girls. I hope this was helpful. Have a great day.